Are we overblowing it when we talk about disinflation in the UK now, as we're seeing in Europe?
The numbers in the UK were weaker than expected. I'd hesitate to, talk about deflation in the UK. The headline number was just below the Bank of England's target. So weaker than expected, but not necessarily hugely harmful to sterling from an FX perspective.
Certainly something that will please policymakers in the UK, though, right?
Well, I don't think it's going to be a huge surprise to the Bank of England. They've been forecasting below target inflation. That was their expectation in the Bank of England inflation report last week, that inflation would be below target for some time. So I think the clip lower that we saw in the UK CPI number wouldn't have been a huge surprise to them.
Right. We saw sterling react pretty sharply. The 10-year yield reacted quite sharply as well. But sterling is clawing its way back pretty quickly. Does anyone want to be short sterling right now?
It's a trade that we like. We like sterling. We think it's going to strengthen. I'm not hugely surprised by sterling regaining some strength following its weakness right after the number. The growth and inflation picture in the UK, is a positive one, and I think that's why sterling has generally traded quite well. Our top trade has been to buy sterling against the euro, and these numbers certainly don't change that view.
What level are you looking at for euro sterling now and for cable?
So our next target is 80 for the euro sterling pair, but our year-end target is 76. So we're quite aggressive in terms of our expectation of the move lower for the end of 2014. We actually have 72 for the euro sterling pair at the end of 2015. So we think this is a story that's going to continue for some time in terms of sterling strength against euro.
Back to your trade, buy sterling, euro sterling, and you like sterling generally. What are we going to hear in the minutes tomorrow that could work against that sterling trade?
You could see some concern around the inflation outlook, that perhaps strength in the currency might lead to lower inflation outturns, but I doubt it. I think that it's going to be very consistent. The message in the minutes is going to be quite consistent with what we saw in the inflation report, one of optimism and sort of a positive view on the UK economy, on the UK growth inflation picture looking ahead. Key number tomorrow, in addition to the minutes, is of course the labour market report in the UK. If we see a downside surprise there, it could hurt the currency, but we don't expect that to be the case. We think the unemployment rate is going to fall to the Bank of England's threshold tomorrow.